If you just discovered Think and Grow Rich and you are not 18 anymore, it is easy to feel like you missed the wave. You did not. You just have to use this book differently, and if you do it right, you can compress 10 years of growth into 2 or 3. I know why you are here. You found the philosophy of success, the philosophy I was privileged to organize from the lives of the world's greatest achievers, and you are looking at the calendar with regret. You see the years that passed, the opportunities wasted, the advice ignored. You look at the men and women achieving great wealth in their 20s and 30s, and a chilling doubt whispers to you, is it too late for me? I am here to tell you 2 things with absolute certainty. You are not too late, but you do not have time to waste. The philosophy described in this book is the shortest, dependable philosophy of individual achievement ever presented. Those who succeed are those who are ready for the secret. If you feel you missed the wave, if you feel the sting of lost time and the urgency of the clock, you are not behind. You are ready. This feeling of urgency is, in fact, the greatest asset you now possess. It is the necessary spark that your subconscious mind demands before it begins to work for you. We are going to apply the principles that allow achievement to come so quickly, in such great abundance, that you will wonder where they were hiding during all those lean years. These principles are immutable laws, and when obeyed, they deliver accelerated results. We start now by establishing the aggressive purpose necessary to compress time. The accelerated start, converting desire into compressed time. To compress 10 years of achievement into 2, you cannot afford weak, tentative, or vague desires. Vague desire yields vague results. You must demand success, not merely request it. Look at the emotion that brought you to this page. It is not quiet hope. It is often the energy of your regret, the bitter feeling of lost time. That powerful emotion, that hunger, is precisely what you must now convert into the only starting point of all achievement, a burning desire. It is the necessary obsession that refuses to accept failure. The majority of men who struggle through life do so because they desire money and success only faintly. They wish for it. They hope for it. But they have no definite plan or definite action behind that wish. A wish is a shadow. A burning desire is a flame. It must be so intense that it consumes all lesser contradictory thoughts. I tell you, from my 25 years of research into the fortunes of men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison, that there is one universal, unwavering truth. Riches respond only to definite demands, backed by definite desires. They are not attracted to necessity, but to definiteness. The universe recognizes the intensity of an unwavering demand. If you feel behind, if you feel you have wasted years, this is your immediate assignment. You must consciously and systematically inject the necessary obsession, the money consciousness, into your mind. Only those who become money conscious accumulate great riches. This consciousness is built not on optimism, but on definiteness of purpose. To start the clock over, you must immediately set fire to the bridge of retreat. This means making failure absolutely impossible because you have eliminated any mental alternative to success. Look at the story of Edwin C. Barnes, the man who became Thomas Edison's partner. Barnes did not have money. He did not have connections. He did not have a proper education. He traveled to Orange, New Jersey, appearing like a tramp, but he possessed something far more powerful than any of those assets. A burning desire to become the business associate of the great Edison. He had no backup plan. Edison was not looking for a partner. He was looking for clerks and laborers. But Barnes presented himself with such persistence, such faith in his aim, and such definiteness of purpose that Edison gave him a chance. Barnes did not ask for a job. He demanded a partnership through the sheer force of his concentrated will. He was committed to stand by until he succeeded. He even took a menial job simply to remain in Edison's environment. The length of time he served as a clerk was irrelevant because his inner commitment to the partnership never wavered. Barnes did not waste years building up to that desire. He arrived at the first possible moment with the desire fully formed, fully backed by faith. He was a man who understood that definite chief aim is not a suggestion, it is a command. The time you feel you have lost was spent in the fog of vague goals and wasting effort. The accelerated start requires you to bring the abstract idea of success into sharp, written focus. Are you prepared to pay the price of admission with an intense, unwavering focus? This is the moment where your history of delay is canceled by the sheer force of your new commitment. If you have spent 40 years wishing for a vague fortune, you must now spend the next 60 days following these 6 specific commands, the 6 steps for transmuting desire, with the same intensity Barnes used when he stood before Edison. 1. Fix the exact result and reciprocity. Determine precisely the exact amount of money you intend to acquire. Do not say, "I want a lot of money," or "I want to be rich." Name the figure. This figure must be believable, but great enough to excite your imagination. And then determine exactly what service, skill, or commodity you intend to give in return for the money. There is no such thing as something for nothing. The law of equivalent exchange is absolute. You must be prepared to match your demand with a worthwhile contribution. 2. Establish a hard deadline. Set a definite date, a hard deadline, when you intend to possess the money you desire. The new race for fortunes requires definiteness of purpose. If you do not set a date, your subconscious mind sees no urgency, and your effort will remain scattered across the calendar. The act of setting a definite date forces your mind to create an organized plan, because the brain naturally seeks the shortest path between present reality and the definite deadline. The clock starts now. 3. Start now, ready or not. Create a definite practical plan for carrying out your desire, and begin at once to put this plan into action, whether you feel you are ready or not. Waiting for the perfect time is the favorite excuse of failure. The man who waits for all the lights to turn green before starting a journey will never leave the garage. Action cures fear. Action defines your plan. Do not spend another day analyzing. Start moving with what you have. Your plan may change daily, but your action must be continuous. 4. Write the command. Write out a clear, concise statement of your aim, including the exact amount of money, the deadline, the reciprocal service you will give, and your plan. This simple act provides concrete form to the intangible desire. A goal that is not written is merely a wish that has been conveniently forgotten. This statement must be carried with you and be instantly accessible. The written word holds a power that the vague thought does not. 5. The twice daily ritual of faith. Read your written statement aloud, twice daily, once before retiring at night and once upon arising in the morning. These are the moments when the subconscious mind is most receptive to command. This is not a casual reading. It is a ritual of faith, designed to embed your definite purpose deep within your working mind. You are administering a definite command to the powerhouse of your mind. 6. Emotionalize the possession. As you read your statement, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. You must mix deep emotion, or feeling, which is the substance of faith, with your words, because plain, unemotional words are of no consequence to the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will not act on mere words, but it will act on words charged with emotion. Faith is the only force capable of bridging the gap between desire and its material equivalent. This emotional infusion is what allows compressed time to become possible. This is the accelerated start. It is not a promise of instant fortune. It is a guarantee of instant direction. If you feel you missed the wave, I tell you now, the wave is still forming, and your definite chief aim is the power plant that will generate the speed to catch it. The only thing you can afford to waste is another minute delaying this 6-step action. Compressing time. The mastery of procrastination. If you have just found Think and Grow Rich, the time you feel you lost was wasted by procrastination, the serious enemy of success. It is the habit of delay disguised as prudence. To compress years of growth into a few short months, you must master the habit of prompt decision, which is the 7th step toward riches. Lack of decision is the universal flaw that causes men to drift, to change jobs, to remain in poverty, and to ultimately serve the one who did decide. The average man fears the consequence of action more than the consequence of inaction, and that fear keeps him poor. I tell you that an accurate analysis of over 25,000 men and women who failed showed that lack of decision was near the top of the list of major causes of failure. Conversely, people who succeed reach decisions promptly and change them slowly. The man who finds this philosophy late in life usually carries a history of paralyzing indecision. He waited too long for the perfect idea. He analyzed every opportunity until it vanished. He allowed the negative opinions of others to overrule his own impulse. This habit must stop immediately. Decision is the speed multiplier. It is the switch that converts desire into action. Look at the speed with which men of great fortune move. When Andrew Carnegie decided to go into steel, he did not wait for every possible risk to be eliminated. He made the fundamental decision to command the industry and built his organization on that command. When Henry Ford decided to mass-produce the Model T, he proceeded despite the mockery of experts who insisted it could not be done cheaply. These men move with the speed of light compared to the average man, and that speed is always rooted in the same place, the promptness of their decisions. Consider the story of Dr. Gonzalez. He was the head of a major university who struggled for a time to raise $1 million for his college. He went through months of planning, petitioning, and vague desire, and nothing came of it. It was only when he reached a definite decision to acquire the money within a week and created a plan that was commensurate with that new decision that the universe responded. He received the necessary funds from a benefactor within 36 hours of that definite decision. The money was not waiting for the plan, it was waiting for the definite decision. That single moment of certainty, backed by a plan, compressed years of effort into less than 2 days. That is the power you must now harness. The moment of definite decision is the point of compressed time. The time you have left is your greatest asset, and you must protect it by making every choice sharp and swift. The man who hesitates always works for the man who acts. To break the habit of delay and install the discipline of speed, you must follow these commands. 1. Reach decisions promptly. Make it a sacred habit to reach decisions quickly, even on small matters. Delay is fatal to success because it trains your subconscious mind to accept uncertainty. This is a discipline. When you are presented with a choice, make the best decision you can with the available facts, and then commit to it. Commitment makes the difference between hoping and achieving. Develop a rule for yourself. A decision must be made within 60 seconds of receiving the final necessary information. 2. Use imagination for plans. The transformation of desire into reality calls for a concrete plan. These plans must be formed with the aid of the imagination, the workshop of the mind. Do not just wait for the right steps to appear. Sit down and actively imagine the blueprint for your definite chief aim. A man who builds a house never starts with a vague hope. He starts with an architect's blueprint. Your plan must be that blueprint. It is the first physical form of your desire. Your imagination is the only limit to the speed of your achievement. 3. Reduce plans to writing. As with your desire, reduce your practical plan to writing. The moment you complete this, you have definitely given concrete form to the intangible desire. It is no longer a dream. It is an assignment. The written plan is your general's map for the battle of achievement. The act of writing forces organization where mere thinking allows diffusion. 4. Strategic silence. Be mindful of talking too freely about your plans. While the mastermind principle is vital, the average mind is destructive. Others, including your relatives and friends, may unconsciously inject fear or doubt, or, worse, they may be inspired to beat you to your goal by putting your plans into action ahead of you. Protect the preciousness of your aim. Your actions should speak louder than your words. Only share your aims with your trusted mastermind alliance. 5. Rebuild plans, not desires. When temporary defeat comes, and it will come, often, to test the strength of your desire, accept it immediately as a signal that your plans are not sound, not that your desire is unattainable. Rebuild those plans immediately, swiftly, and set sail once more. The average man quits upon the first sign of defeat. The man accelerating his success sees defeat as an architect's critique. Remember the universal law that separates the worker from the achiever. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. When you look back on the years you lost, know that they were lost to procrastination and indecision. Now you must choose to make every day a moment of prompt, definitive command. Your future speed is directly proportional to your present decision. Rewiring the mind for speed, autosuggestion, and success consciousness. You are the master of your fate. But if you found Think and Grow Rich late, it means your mind has been operating on failure consciousness. For years, you were programmed by environment, by circumstances, by the media, and by well-meaning but poor-minded friends. Every time you spoke doubt, every time you accepted a low wage, every time you focused on debt, you were sending a negative impulse to the great engine of your subconscious mind. This is the constant, unconscious auto-suggestion of failure. To catch up fast, you must immediately seize control of this engine and use autosuggestion, the medium, for influencing the subconscious mind to rapidly program money consciousness. Your brain becomes magnetized with the dominating thoughts you hold in your mind. This power makes no attempt to discriminate. It urges you to translate thoughts of poverty and doubt just as quickly and efficiently as it translates thoughts of riches and success. To accelerate your achievement, you must eliminate negative thought impulses with the same speed you install positive ones. The man who believes he is destined to mediocrity is not destined by fate. He is destined by the thought impulse he has allowed to dominate his mind. Do you allow your past failures to dictate your future commands? The thoughts you hold become the magnets of your destiny, attracting circumstances and people that correspond to their nature. Look at the story of Blair Hill, who was born without ears. By conventional thought, he was permanently handicapped and meant for a life of limitation. Yet his mother used the principle of desire, backed by faith, to convince the boy he was not handicapped but blessed. The boy eventually succeeded far beyond the typical man, proving that the mind translates impulses into physical equivalents regardless of circumstance. The belief was stronger than the physical reality, forcing the world to yield. If a boy without ears can defy his physical reality through autosuggestion, you can defy the mental programming of your past. This is not motivational theory. This is the law of the mind. If you desire speed, you must engage in rapid mind magnetization through these commands. 1. Apply the self-confidence formula. Commit to memory and repeat aloud once a day the self-confidence formula. This formula is a written demand that mandates persistent, aggressive, and continuous action toward your definite purpose. It requires you to recognize your latent power and demand that it be used for achievement. It is a daily contract with yourself, affirming that you are already the person capable of achieving your definite aim. 2. Concentrate and visualize. Concentrate your mind for 30 minutes daily on the task of thinking of the person you intend to become. Do not just dream. Create a clear mental picture of that person, the way they speak, the clothes they wear, the confidence they possess. As you visualize, see yourself rendering the service you intend to give in return for the money. You must see the completion of your service as clearly as you see the money arriving. Visualization is thinking in the language of the subconscious mind. Hold this image with the same clarity you hold the memory of your own name. 3. Emotionalize the order. Your subconscious mind acts upon only thoughts which have been well mixed with emotion or feeling. The time for apathy is over. Mix the 7 major positive emotions: desire, faith, love, enthusiasm, romance, and hope, and deep affection, if applicable, with your self-talk. If you say, "I will be rich," but feel doubt, you are delivering a contradictory command. You must feel the certainty of your success when you speak it. Only emotion provides the necessary energy to bridge the gap between thought and matter. 4. Use repetition, the fastest way to change. Any thought, idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through the repetition of thought. This is the key to accelerated growth. Repeat your definite chief aim statement daily, hourly, until it becomes a part of the working equipment of your subconscious mind. It must become as natural as breathing. The repetition creates the success consciousness you need to outpace those who are only relying on physical labor, because your inner world begins to match your outer ambition. You are the master programmer. The years you lost were wasted by unconscious negative repetition. Now you must use conscious, positive, and definite repetition to rewire your destiny. I hope that the fire of this philosophy has already begun to burn away the doubt of your past. I have given you the foundation, desire, faith, decision, to put the past behind you. But the greatest asset I can give you now is not just a philosophy, but a community of men and women who refuse to believe that their best days are behind them. If this message of command and acceleration resonates with your soul, I urge you to subscribe to this channel now. By subscribing, you are forming the first alliance in your new mastermind group, a definite decision to receive constant, organized direction. Join the community of achievers who have made the definite decision to compress the time and claim their reward. This channel is not built on hope. It is built on the law. Subscribe now so you do not miss the command that will change your life next. The 10-year compression mechanism, specialized focus. You do not have time for general schooling. The man who is catching up cannot afford to drift through years of irrelevant facts. Only relevant knowledge that directly advances your definite aim matters now. To compress 10 years of growth into 2, you must acquire highly specialized knowledge. Combined with persistence, this focused action ensures your effort converts quickly into permanent progress. General knowledge is of little use in the accumulation of money. It is the currency of the employee, not the owner. The person who stops studying merely because they have finished school is forever hopelessly limited to mediocrity. If you feel behind, it is often because you have either stopped learning entirely or you are learning the wrong things, things that do not serve your definite purpose. The path to rapid success is the continuous pursuit of necessary specialized knowledge, the one thing that directly supports your definite chief aim. Look at the universal failure due to a lack of persistence, often symbolized by the man who quit digging just 3 feet from gold. That man had the desire, he had the plan, but he lacked the endurance to command success. The failure to persist is often disguised as bad luck, but it is almost always the signal that the desire was not hot enough or the knowledge was not focused enough. Contrast that failure with the success of Fannie Hurst, the American novelist. Before she succeeded, she received 36 rejection slips. A common person would have quit after the 5th or the 10th rejection. But Hurst possessed the power of persistence, a quality of will that forced success. Her persistence was her specialized knowledge. She knew how to keep writing, and she knew that the law of averages would eventually bend to the force of her will. You must build a stronger fire under your desires, and you must focus the energy of your persistence through a lens of definite knowledge. To build the accelerated speed necessary to leapfrog your past limitations, you must immediately execute these commands. 1. Define specialized knowledge strategically. Determine precisely the specialized knowledge required for your definite chief aim. Do not enroll in 4 years of college, acquire the single course, the definitive book, or the mastermind member who holds the specific knowledge you require. The Internet has removed the barrier of time, provided you use it for specialized focus, not general distraction. If you lack the ability or inclination to acquire it alone, you may bridge your weakness through the aid of your mastermind group. The point is not to be the source of all knowledge, but to possess the knowledge through organized effort. This is how you master in months what others take years to learn. 2. Adopt the QQS formula as habit. You must market your personal services effectively and permanently by adopting and following the QQS formula as a habit. Deliver the maximum quality and quantity of service in a proper spirit of cooperation. The QQS formula is the universal law of exchange. You must give more than you are paid for. When you habitually exceed expectations, you immediately separate yourself from the vast majority who are stuck in the mediocrity of just enough. This consistent over-delivery creates the leverage necessary for rapid advancement and attracts the attention of those who can aid your mastermind efforts. 3. Develop persistence, the 4 pillars. If you are weak in persistence, this may be remedied, but only by building a stronger fire under your desires. Ensure your efforts are based on the 4 elements essential for the habit of persistence. A definite purpose backed by burning desire. A definite plan expressed in continuous action. A mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences, including relatives and friends. A friendly alliance with 1 or more persons who will encourage you to follow through. Persistence is not simply hard work. It is unwavering will guided by a map. Is your plan continuous, or is your effort scattered? Continuous effort, regardless of size, accelerates the process. 4. Embrace adversity's seed. When temporary defeat comes, remember that every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. The man who quits has merely focused on the adversity and ignored the seed. Your past delays and defeats are not losses. They are the tuition you have paid for wisdom. The longer the delay, the larger the seed of wisdom you now possess. Use this wisdom to make your next attempt definite and unwavering. This refusal to accept temporary defeat is the hallmark of every great fortune and is the final test of your desire. You are accelerating because you are now focused. No more scattered effort. No more general learning. Your knowledge is specialized. Your desire is a flame. And your will is iron, the ultimate leverage, mastermind and 6th sense. To compress 10 years of growth into 2, you must multiply your mind, not just your effort. You must move from individual labor to organized power. Power is defined as organized and intelligently directed knowledge. No individual has sufficient experience, education, native ability, and knowledge to ensure the accumulation of a great fortune without the cooperation of other people. The mastermind principle provides instant organized power, and it is the key to quickly bridging your educational and experiential gap. If you are behind, it is because you have worked alone, or you have worked with those who hold you back. The mastermind principle is the deliberate act of aligning yourself with superior, specialized, and supportive minds. Look at Andrew Carnegie. He accumulated millions, a fortune beyond calculation, by utilizing the mastermind principle. He did not claim to be the smartest steel man, the best salesman, or the best manager. He claimed only that he had the ability to organize the combined brain power, experience, and knowledge of other minds to achieve organized effort and power. This leverage is what allowed him to build his empire in a time frame that would have been impossible for a single man. You must stop waiting for a break or luck to arrive. The Mastermind Alliance is your self-made break. It is your immediate access to organized power and the collective knowledge you missed during your years of delay. Your past environment may have held you back. Your future environment must propel you forward. This requires the deliberate building of a powerful mastermind alliance. 1. Organize your mastermind alliance. Ally yourself with a group of people, as many as you may need for the creation and carrying out of your definite plan. Your alliance must contain the specialized knowledge and skills you lack. Your alliance does not need to be physically present. Start by selecting 3 minds, historical figures, authors, or mentors, whose books and teachings you will study daily. This is the initial phase of your organized power. You are not simply forming a friendship. You are entering a commercial and spiritual arrangement where the definite aim of the group serves the definite aim of the individual. 2. Mandate perfect harmony. You must maintain perfect harmony between yourself and every member of your mastermind group. The mastermind principle cannot obtain where perfect harmony does not prevail. Disharmony dilutes the energy of the group, and the collective mind power is lost. Be willing to give as much as you expect to receive in service, in loyalty, and in counsel. Harmony is the fuel that runs the mastermind. This perfect harmony is achieved through communication, trust, and the unwavering shared commitment to the definite chief aim. 3. Harness inspiration, the 6th sense. Be on the alert for plans, strategies, or sudden solutions that flash into your mind through the sixth sense, which I call creative imagination or inspiration. These flashes often come when the minds in your mastermind are in perfect harmony. They are the spontaneous emergence of truth that can leapfrog years of labor. Put these plans into action immediately. Failure to act on inspiration will be fatal to your success. Are you ready to move on the idea that appears, or will you wait for guaranteed certainty? The sixth sense is the ultimate expression of compressed time. 4. Build a wall of immunity. Actively protect yourself against the evil of susceptibility to negative influences. Recognize that you have a willpower, and you must put it into constant use until it builds a wall of immunity against negative influences, whether they come from the outside, friends, or the inside, doubt. The man who feels behind cannot afford to absorb one moment of fear or doubt from others. This immunity is your mental fortress. 5. Practice invisible counsel. To stimulate your creative imagination and sixth sense, regularly hold imaginary council meetings with historical figures or mentors whose qualities you desire to acquire. Sit down quietly, close your eyes, and imagine you are speaking with Henry Ford about manufacturing, or Andrew Carnegie about organization, or Thomas Edison about persistence. Your mind is receptive to the ideas and knowledge you seek, and this practice will make you immune to the negativity of your current environment. This regular mental practice enhances your capacity to receive flashes of genius and shortens the learning curve dramatically. The mastermind is your great leverage. It is the organized power that converts your single effort into a massive, organized force. If you are serious about compressing 10 years into 2, this step is non-negotiable. I know that some of what I teach can feel overwhelming, especially when you are staring at a long road of lost years and a definite goal that feels distant. You may secretly worry that you are too old to start, or that your mistakes were too great. I have spent a lifetime organizing this philosophy from the greatest minds the world has ever known, and I tell you this, your age is not a barrier. Your indecision is. Your past is not a chain. It is the fuel for your present desire. If you have found yourself resonating with this message, if you know someone else who has the intelligence and the ambition, but is stalled by doubt and regret, then you must share this teaching with them. Do not delay. Share this video with one person you know who is still waiting to start. You may be the catalyst that ignites their definite chief aim. And for yourself, I have a simple command. In the comments below, write down your current age and your definite chief aim. This is a small act of decision, a public commitment to your subconscious mind that the waiting is over and the commanding has begun. Do it now. Eliminating the drag, conquering fear and negative influence. The accelerated start is built on desire and speed, but it is constantly threatened by its immediate enemy, fear. The reason men feel behind is always related to the 3 enemies of success that paralyze the will: fear of poverty, fear of criticism, and susceptibility to negative influences. You may have found Think and Grow Rich, but if you still allow these fears to dominate your immediate environment, the clock will stop once more. The accumulated years of delay are often nothing more than the sum total of unmanaged fears and uncorrected toxic environments. If you are catching up, you must deal with these immediately. The man who is afraid of poverty can never accumulate money, for his dominating thought is lacking, and the subconscious mind translates all dominating thoughts into physical reality. The man who is afraid of criticism, the man who cannot bear to be mocked by his family or friends, will never move quickly enough to succeed, for all great movements attract criticism. The fastest way to accelerate is to eliminate the drag on your momentum. You cannot run a race with anchors attached to your feet. Your environment is either a launch pad or an anchor. Your mastermind will serve as your launch pad, but you must actively sever the cables of the anchor. The anchor is the negative influence of those around you, the family members who tell you to be realistic, the friends who mock your ambition, or the toxic co-workers who fear your growth. I have studied the lives of the great failures, and their stories are invariably punctuated by the moment they listened to the man who was afraid. To compress time, you must not only think differently, you must live differently, starting with an immediate assessment and correction of your environment. 1. Diagnose and purge the 6 basic fears. Sit down and honestly assess which of the 6 basic fears, poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, mortality, is dominating your daily thought process. Once the enemy is named, it loses its power. Fear of poverty is often the root of procrastination. Address it by declaring your definite chief aim and acting upon it immediately. Action is the only known antidote to fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the command to act in its presence. 2. Identify and isolate negative influences. Immediately identify the men and women in your life who, through their words, their habits, or their beliefs, represent a negative influence on your definite chief aim. This requires a mental inventory. List the 5 people you speak to most frequently. Which 3 fill you with fear or doubt? Limit interaction with them to absolute necessity for the next 30 days. This is not rudeness, it is self-preservation. But I tell you plainly, your spiritual obligation to your own success is greater than your social obligation to those who undermine it. If you cannot completely remove yourself from their presence, you must reduce contact and build an emotional wall against their thoughts. The price of success is often temporary isolation from the mediocre. 3. Utilize the power of the mastermind for environment control. Use your mastermind alliance as your primary environment. Spend more time with those who are actively achieving and moving toward their goals. This creates a psychological and spiritual environment of success consciousness which automatically repels the doubt of the outside world. You become what you consume in your environment. Your physical location may be fixed for now, but your mental environment must be commanded. 4. Practice aggressive faith against criticism. When criticism comes, and it will be sharpest from those closest to you, welcome it as a sign of your progress. The only people who are not criticized are those who are doing nothing. Understand that criticism is often the language of the fearful, who are attempting to pull you back to their level of mediocrity. Your only response must be a renewed focus on your definite chief aim, backed by an aggressive faith that you will succeed. Do not defend your plans. Execute them. 5. The mental and physical audit. Conduct a daily audit of your thought habits and your immediate physical environment. Are you consuming negative news? Are your surroundings cluttered and disorganized? A cluttered desk is often the symbol of a cluttered mind. You must apply organization to your thoughts and your surroundings, for organization is the prerequisite for speed. A clear physical space reinforces a definite mental command. The acceleration mechanism is only effective when the brakes are removed. Fear is the brake. The toxic environment is the drag. Remove them both now. How much longer will you allow the opinions of the afraid to control the pace of your life? The irresistible force, cosmic habit, and final command. Let us now bring every law, every truth, and every warning to its final conclusion. For you to compress 10 years of growth into 2, you must achieve not only organized thought, but organized action that is backed by the ultimate law of the universe, cosmic habit force. The years you feel you lost were the result of unconscious, lazy habits that worked against your success. Now, every single action you take must be a conscious command that works for your success, until that action is taken over by the cosmic habit force. This force is the unwavering law of the universe that dictates that repetition of thought or action ultimately makes the result inevitable. It is the power that turns water into steam and steam into the piston that drives a train. It is silent, it is invisible, and it is irresistible. The master of achievement is the man who channels this force by making his work a habit. The failure is the man who is controlled by the habit of indecision, the habit of laziness, or the habit of doubt. The law is impartial. It rewards the man who forms the habits of success. To accelerate your results, you must not rely on motivation or wishful thinking. You must rely on rhythm. You must channel the energy of your late start, the urgency, the regret, the fierce desire into a daily, non-negotiable rhythm of success-producing habits. This is how you outpace the man who started earlier but is still drifting without definite rhythm. The final command is to take all the previous principles and forge them into a daily, unbreakable rhythm that makes your success an inevitability. 1. Implement the daily command structure. Your day must begin and end with command, not reaction. Morning command: rise before the world speaks. Speak your definite chief aim aloud. Read your plan for the day. Repeat your wealth affirmations with emotion. The first 30 minutes of your day must be dedicated solely to programming your subconscious. Do not check the world's demands until your own command is issued. Midday alignment. Review your progress against your plan. Speak aloud: I am still on target. My aim is fixed. My pace is strong. Correct any drift immediately with focused action. Do not allow a full day to pass without a precise course correction. Evening review. Measure what was completed. Journal new lessons or insights that came from your mastermind or sixth sense. Repeat your aim aloud before sleep and visualize success as already yours. This primes the subconscious for work while you rest. 2. Make repetition sacred. Repeat this daily structure without fail, without excuse. Do not skip, do not drift, do not delay. Every thought repeated becomes a command. Every action repeated becomes a pattern. Every pattern reinforced becomes identity, and every identity manifests results that match it. The man who is accelerating does not skip his ritual because he knows that he is not only building his fortune, he is building the habit of fortune. 3. Demand immediate accountability. The reason you feel behind is that you allowed years of unaccountability to pass. Now, you must demand immediate accountability from yourself and your mastermind group. Use a habit calendar or a progress tracker. The man who feels behind must now measure his movement with the certainty of a bookkeeper. If you cannot measure it, you cannot multiply it. This measurement must be honest and daily, revealing precisely where your rhythm failed or succeeded. 4. The final identity shift: refusal to serve. Until you transform who you are, no change in your habits, no change in your income, no change in your environment will last. This world does not obey the man who performs. It obeys the man who commands. And no man can command until he first refuses to serve fear, routine, wage, and mental chains. You are not here to merely work. You were born to build. Are you still serving the chains of your past? Or have you become the master of your own rhythm? Your goal is not just to acquire money. It is to acquire the habit of self-mastery that makes the acquisition of money inevitable. The time you lost is irrelevant to the power of the cosmic habit force when it is directed by your now formed burning desire and definite plan. I have given you the formula for the accelerated start. Desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, persistence, decision, and the organized power of the master mind. Every step is designed to compress years of drifting into moments of command. You may have discovered this great philosophy at a time when your peers are already established, when your energy is not what it once was, and when the mountain of your goal looks impossibly high. The world will tell you it is too late. The world will tell you to settle. But I, having organized the principles of success from the men who built this nation from nothing, tell you with the conviction of universal law, you are not too late. The wealth you desire is not waiting for your perfection. It is waiting for your decision and your organized movement. Your true life, the life of command, of purpose, and of freedom, does not begin with your first paycheck. It begins with your first definite command to your own mind. Do not let your life be a monument to what could have been. Refuse to be a slave to any man, or any fear, or any past mistake. You were born to command wealth, not to work until your final day. The waiting is over. The doubt is finished. The decision is made. Start now. This channel walks with you, and together we will make your final years the greatest years of your life.